Listening to Sheena's latest podcast episode on a road trip made me wonder, does she actually like Brock? Their conversation revealed how different they are, especially when discussing their daughter's teeth. Sheena suggested fixing them, which broke my heart. Brock rightly defended the situation, arguing against sending the wrong message to their daughter that she should change herself because of others' opinions. As a new mom, I found this discussion really struck a nerve. I sensed tension in their conversation and felt Brock was often laughing things off to diffuse it. It made me question whether Sheena views her family more like accessories or status symbols than genuine relationships. What surprised me was how little Sheena seemed to know about Brock during the podcast when he answered listener questions. Basic details about his background and upbringing seemed unfamiliar to her, which struck me as odd for someone married to him. Sheena's approach to parenting, reminiscent of a stage mom on Toddlers and Tiaras, concerns me deeply. Pushing her child into the spotlight from a young age could have serious consequences, given what we've learned about the harmful effects of early fame. Personally, I regret fixing my gap with braces, succumbing to societal pressure despite my mother's praise. It's a reminder of how important it is to be happy in our own skin. I've said it many times. Sheena seemed to rush into her relationship and motherhood to keep up with her friends, who were all settling down around the same time. This doesn't seem like a decision someone would make with careful consideration, especially given Brock's past. Ultimately, I worry that Sheena's insecurities and fake persona will negatively impact her daughter, Summer Moon, who might inherit these complexes. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Spill Chronicles. It's me, Ramona here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. However, somewhere Schwartz is probably asking Katie if he can get in bed and scroll on his phone next to her again. Pink looks amazing on Katie. I adore how she usually sticks to black, and then suddenly surprises us with a burst of color. It's baffling how some people on Instagram criticize Katie's style, claiming she's the worst dressed in the entire cast. I'll never understand that. I absolutely love her fashion sense. Whether it's a night out or a casual day, I'm always envious of how effortlessly cool she looks. It's rare for me to say someone looks cool, but she pulls it off. She's such a badass. I admire how she effortlessly channels a 90s Alanis Morissette concert vibe one day, and then transforms into a brunette Barbie the next. On the other hand, I just watched Ariana's Q&A for Love Island on her Instagram. Y'all, they asked her how many times she plans on jumping in the pool, and she said 0. I feel that. Everyone makes fun of me because I bring 7 bathing suits for a weekend and never get wet. Then they asked if she's ever slept in a room with 10 girls, and she said not since Girl Scouts. Ha 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 ha. If you haven't watched this clip, go check it out on her Instagram. It is precious and I adore her. That's it, carry on. She is absolutely killing it as the host. I've got all the time in the world. Hope she lights up the boys tonight. However, after binge-watching all the seasons, I've come to the conclusion that they are all absolutely vile humans, except for Beau. Does anyone else find any other cast member decent? Even Ariana seemed pretty awful in the first half of the show. I used to think Ariana was just as bad through season 10. However, I've softened towards her vulnerability, especially with her struggles with mental illness, and her eventual friendships with Kristen and Stassi. Plus, she's just so perfect looking. But yeah, she's the best among a pretty abysmal bunch. Additionally, I went to SUR and TomTom a weekend ago. Have any of y'all been? I visited on a Saturday night around 10-ish. SUR was pretty dead, while TomTom had a moderate crowd. SUR was kind of mid, but the goat cheese balls weren't bad. Drinks were quite expensive, and the decor was kind of cool. TomTom was honestly better. The music was better, and the decor behind the bar was really cool. It's a giant clock with gears and everything. The cocktails were more affordable and better. I didn't try the food, if they have any, but it felt like a club atmosphere. Also, I accidentally stepped into the Abbey without realizing it was essentially a gay strip club lol. I went to both a few weekends ago and ate at both. Tom Tom has way better food. They were both crowded, but I went during prime dinner hours. The Abbey was a blast. If you're thinking about going to the Abbey, I would suggest Googling the situation regarding their drinks. Also, there's some shady stuff that went down between employees at Tom Tom and the Abbey involving stealing customer credit cards and using them at the other venue. It seems people were stealing customer credit cards from Tom Tom and then taking them over to the Abbey and charging stuff. Moreover, watching season 9 for the first time and the way Sandoval treats Katie is just appalling. Skipping seasons 8 and 9, then getting back into VVR during Scandoval, I'm seeing it now. Sandoval can't seem to handle that Katie has good ideas, and he doesn't grasp the financial investment that Schwartz and Katie share as a married couple. I completely understand why it caused tension in Schwartz and Katie's marriage. If my husband's best friend spoke to me that way and my husband didn't intervene, I'd be furious. Katie has always seen through Sandoval, and I love that about her. That's my take on it. It was indeed shocking to see a grown adult keep quiet when it was clear that someone else was contributing financially to their household. They never seemed to be held accountable for that, including the lies about Katie that were replayed as clips. It really should have been addressed during the reunion. The most unbelievable part to me was watching Sandoval steamroll Schwartz right in front of Katie, and then Schwartz denying it when confronted. It's frustrating how some people still defend Schwartz despite all this. Our society tends to favor men like Schwartz, and he knows how to take advantage of it. On the other hand, that scene at the Korean BBQ in season 2 really highlights the dynamics between Tom Sandoval and Kristen. Your observation about Tom's behavior during that dinner is spot on. It certainly felt like a setup to provoke Kristen. Whether it was Tom's own doing or production's influence, it showcased some of the manipulative tendencies that have been associated with him throughout the show. It's interesting how production can shape our perceptions. They often edited situations to make Tom's actions seem less problematic, which contributed to a distorted representation of the women he dated. This scene, like many others, adds to the ongoing discussion about accountability and how reality TV can sometimes downplay or misrepresent certain behaviors. Holding people accountable for their actions is crucial, and it's good to see that viewers are now more aware and critical of the dynamics at play. The relationship between Tom and Kristen was tumultuous, to say the least, and moments like these are key to understanding the broader picture of their interactions. However, Schwartz's tendency to downplay his intelligence in social settings, while revealing a sharper, more cunning side in private conversations, particularly with Katie, indeed suggests a level of manipulation. This duality in his behavior does make him appear more sinister when you consider the impact it has on those around him, especially Katie, who often bore the brunt of his gaslighting and manipulation. The examples you provided, such as his use of vocabulary and specific phrases like sunk cost fallacy, showcase that he does have a level of understanding and intellect that he chooses to hide or reveal based on what suits him best in any given situation. This behavior can indeed be seen as a form of hustling, where he manipulates his image to garner sympathy or to avoid accountability. Lisa Vanderpump, with her sharp business acumen and no-nonsense attitude, likely sees through Schwartz's act more than others. Her continuous calling out of his behavior supports the idea that she recognizes the intelligence and manipulation behind his seemingly clueless facade. The contrast in how Schwartz communicates with women versus men also highlights a deliberate strategy to maintain control and position himself as superior in certain situations. This behavior, as you noted, is especially damaging to those close to him, like Katie, who had to deal with the cognitive dissonance of his public persona versus his private manipulations. Schwartz's ability to use language as a tool for manipulation, combined with his strategic presentation of self, indeed paints a picture of someone who is more calculating than he lets on. This duality makes his character more complex and, as you said, more sinister when you consider the emotional and psychological toll it takes on those around him. Your rewatching has clearly given you a deeper understanding of the dynamics at play, and your observations provide a compelling case for seeing Schwartz as a more cunning and manipulative character than he might initially appear. This kind of analysis adds a richer layer to the viewing experience and highlights the intricate social games that unfold on reality TV. Additionally, it's definitely frustrating to see situations like this on reality TV, where the lines between genuine interactions and production setups can blur. Sheena's behavior towards James, asking him to help move, and then confronting him about past comments, does come across as manipulative, especially if she knew they weren't close friends as she claimed. Reality TV often thrives on creating dramatic scenarios and conflicts for entertainment value, and it's not uncommon for cast members to be placed in situations or prompted to discuss specific topics to keep the storyline engaging. In Sheena's case, her actions towards James could be seen as using him to advance a storyline or create tension, rather than genuinely valuing his friendship or assistance. Regarding hiring movers, it's possible that Sheena opted not to for the sake of filming a scene that involved James, or perhaps it was a decision made to keep costs down. However, the optics of asking someone you don't consider a close friend to help with a significant task like moving, only to confront them about unrelated issues, can certainly be perceived as insensitive or exploitative. In reality TV, these moments often reflect the scripted nature of the show and the behind-the-scenes decisions made to craft compelling narratives. It's important for viewers to recognize these dynamics while enjoying the entertainment provided by shows like Vanderpump Rules. Moreover, Vanderpump Rules did indeed become heavily reliant on its original cast members, which, while initially successful, eventually led to challenges in keeping the storylines fresh and relevant as the cast matured and their lives changed. Introducing new cast members gradually throughout the seasons could have injected new dynamics and fresh storylines into the show, keeping it dynamic and reflective of the real turnover in restaurant and bar environments. When they did eventually try to introduce new faces in later seasons, the abruptness and quantity of new characters might have been overwhelming for viewers who were so invested in the original cast's dynamics. This sudden shift in casting dynamics likely contributed to some seasons feeling less cohesive or engaging compared to the earlier ones. Despite these challenges, Vanderpump Rules has undeniably had a successful run, lasting much longer than many reality shows typically do. The balance between retaining the essence of what made the show popular originally, while also evolving with new characters and storylines, is always a delicate one in reality TV production. It's interesting to consider how the show might have evolved differently if it had managed to integrate new cast members more smoothly and consistently throughout its run, perhaps transitioning into a more ensemble-driven format rather than centering so heavily on its original stars. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.